lant ar las I sorinen, jeni o not o me fer amar alderon. Jene fe lin ti o der aveniar, mi romar di lisi mi rovoreva. Andoni pella vardo telomar, no luini asin tinte lari eleni, o Mario artari lirinen. Si mani jolmanin quanto va, ansi tinte lai vardo o elosio, fe vagnar mari telentari ortane. Arilie tirundo la velumbale, arsinda oriello caita mornie, e falmalinar impermetar hisie, und bacalakirio mirioele. Si vanwana, Romelo vanwa valimar, Namárië, na hiruvalie valimar, na elia hiruva, Namárië.
Earendil was a mariner that tarried in Arvernian. He built a boat of timber felled in Nimberthil to journey in. Her sails he wove of silver fair, of silver were her lanterns made. Her prow was fashioned like a swan, and late upon her banners laid. In panoply of ancient kings, in chained rings he armoured him. His shining shield was scored with runes, to ward all wounds and harm from him. His bow was made of dragon horn, his arrows shone of ebony. Of silver was his habergeon, his scabbard of chalcedony. His sword of steel was valiant, of adamant his helmet tall, an eagle plume upon his crest, upon his breast an emerald. Beneath the moon and under star he wandered far from northern strands, bewildered on enchanted ways beyond the days of mortal lands. From gnashing of the narrow ice where shadow lies on frozen hills, from nether heats and burning waste he turned in haste and roving still. On starless waters far astray at last he came to night of naught, and past and never sight he saw of shining shore nor light he sought. The winds of wrath came driving him, and blindly in the foam he fled, from west to east and errantless, unheralded he homeward sped. There flying Elwing came to him, and flame was in the darkness lit, more bright than light of diamond, the fire upon her carcanet. The Silmaril she bound on him, and crowned him with the living light, and dauntless then with burning brow he turned his prow and in the night. From other world beyond the sea, there strong and free a storm arose, a wind of power in Tarmanel, by path that seldom mortal goes. His boated bow with biting breath, as might of death across the grey, and long forsaken seas distress, from east to west he passed away. Through ever night he back was borne, on blacking mooring waves that ran, o'er leads and lit and foundered shores that drowned before the days began. Until he heard on strands of pearl, where ends the world the music long, wherever foaming billows roll, the yellow golden jewels wan. He saw the mountains' silent rides, where twilight lies upon the knees of Valinor and Eldamar, beheld afar beyond the seas. A wanderer escaped from night, to haven white he came at last, to elven home the green and fair, where keen the air were pale as glass. Beneath the hill of Ilmarinen, a glimmer in a valley sheer, the lamplit towers of Tirion were mirrored on the Shadowmere. He tarried there from errantry, and melodies they taught to him, and sages old him marvels told, and harps of gold they brought to him. They clothed him then in elven white, and 7 lights before him sent us through the Calasirian, to hidden land forlorn he went. He came unto the timeless halls, where shining fall the countless years, and endless reigns the elder king on Ilmarinen on mountain sheer. And words unheard were spoken then of folk of men and elven kin, beyond the world where vision showed, forbid to those that dwell therein. A ship they knew they built for him of mithril and of elven glass, with shining prow, no shaven oar, no sail she bore on silver mast. The Silmarilla's lantern light and banner bright with living flame, to gleam thereon by Elbereth, herself was set who thither came. And wings immortal made for him, and laid on him undying doom, to sail the shoreless skies and come behind the sun and light of moon. From ever even's lofty hills, where softly silver fountains fall, his wings him bore a wandering light beyond the mighty mountain wall. From world's end and he turned away, and yearned again to find afar his home through shadows journeying, and burning as an island star. On high above the mist he came, a distant flame before the sun, a wonder ere the waking dawn, where grey the norland waters run. And over Middle-earth he passed, and heard at last the weeping sore of women and of elven maids, in elder days and years of yore. But on him mighty doom was laid, till moon should fade an orbed star, to pass and tarry nevermore on hither shores where mortals are. Forever still a herald on an errand that should never rest, to bear his shining lamp afar, the Flammifer of Westerness.
En dwi Mordin and Lorien seldom have walked the feet of men. Few mortal eyes have seen the light that lies there ever long and bright. Galadriel, Galadriel, clear as the water of your well, white as a star in your white hand, unmarred, unstained as leaf and land. En dwi Mordin and Lorien, more fair than thoughts of mortal men. The world was young, the mountains green, no stain yet on the moon was seen, no words were laid on stream or stone, when Durin woke and walked alone. He
named the nameless hills and dells. He drank from yet untasted wells. He stooped and looked in mirror mere, and saw a crown of stars appear, as gems upon a silver thread, above the shadows of his head. The world was fair, the mountains tall, in elder days before the fall of mighty kings in Nargothrond, and Gondolin, who now beyond the western seas have passed away. The world was fair in Durin's day. A king he was on carven throne, in many pillared halls of stone, with golden roof and silver floor, and runes of power upon the door. The light of sun and star and moon, in shining lamps of crystal hewn, undimmed by cloud or shade of night, there shone forever fair and bright. Their hammer on the anvil smote, their chisel clove and graver wrote, their forge was blade and bound was hilt, the delver mined, the mason built, their beryl pearl and opal pale, and metal wrought like fish's mail, buckler and corset, axe and sword, and shining spears were laid in hoard. Unwearied then were Durin's folk, beneath the mountains music woke, the harpers harped, the minstrels sang, and at the gates the trumpets rang. The world is grey, the mountains old, the forge's fire is ashen cold, no harp is rung, no hammer falls, the darkness dwells in Durin's halls, the shadow lies upon his tomb, in Namárië, in Khazad-dûm, but still the sunken stars appear in darkened, windless Mirror. There lies his crown in water deep, till Durin wakes again from sleep.
In the willow meads of Tasarina I walked in the spring. Ah, the sight and the smell of the spring in Nan Tasario, and I said that was good. I wandered in summer in the elmwoods of Osirian. Ah, the light and the music in the summer by the 7 rivers of Osir, and I thought that was best. To the beaches of Neldreth I came in the autumn. Ah, the gold and the red, and the sighing of leaves in the autumn, in Tauern and Eldor, it was more than my desire. To the pine trees upon the highland of Dorthonion I climbed in the winter. Ah, the wind and the whiteness, and the black branches of winter upon Orod Narthor. My voice went up and sang in the sky, and now all those lands lie under the wave. And I walk in Ambarona, in Taure Morna, in Aldalome, in my own land, in the country of Fangor, where the roots are long and the years lie thicker than the leaves, in Taure Morna Lome. Day 9010, and they attempt to try and become a lore master, a great Noldo of Worth. This is the Akalabeth. Well, it's a quick rendition of it because I can't seem to be able to do a dramatic reading after attempting it or learning it over a couple of hours. So here we go. This is Adonaic. It's probably the most difficult thing I've ever done in terms of these memorization videos. Kado sigurun zabafanno naka erohinim duptamo grudalad. Ar farazone na zagra valoja da bari manadun yarachtam daira saibert ma eruvo. Azrio tu farsa achasada, anadun e ziran hikaleba, bawibaturgi balik hazadanimur zira zulada. Aganalo, puro da nenu zaira nenut. Adun izindi batan taito ayada. Ido katha batina loki. Efalakidon yozayan. Efalakidon hi akalabeth. Well, if that was it, you know it because it's uploaded. That was difficult, let's say the least. What do you think, Iran? So next video will probably be a full version if I can manage that. Thanks for watching.
Where now are the Dunedain? LSR, LSR. Why do thy kinsfolk wander afar? Near is the hour when the lost should come forth, and the grey company ride from the north. But dark is the path appointed for thee. The dead watch the road that leads to the sea. Legolas Greenleaf, long under tree, in joy thou hast lived. Beware of the sea. If thou hearest the cry of the gull on the shore, thy heart shall then rest in the forest no more. Lockbearer, wherever thou goest, my thought goes with thee, but have a care to lay thine axe to the right tree. Where now the horse and the rider? Where is the horn that was blowing? Where is the helm and the hauberk and the bright hair flowing? Where is the hand on the harp string and the red fire glowing? Where is the spring and the harvest and the tall corn growing? They have passed like rain on the mountain, like a wind in the meadow. The days have gone down in the west, behind the hills into shadow. Who shall gather the smoke of the dead wood burning, or behold the flowing years from the sea returning?
Gil-galad was an elven king, of him the harpers sadly sing, the last whose realm was fair and free, between the mountains and the sea. His sword was long, his lance was keen, his shining helm afar was seen. The countless stars of heaven's field were mirrored in his silver shield. But long ago he rode away, and where he dwelleth none can say, for into darkness fell his star, in Mordor where the shadows are.
Where now are the Dunedain? LSR, LSR. Why do thy kinsfolk wander afar? Near is the hour when the lost should come forth, and the grey company ride from the north. But dark is the path appointed for thee. The dead watch the road that leads to the sea. Legolas Greenleaf, long under tree, in joy thou hast lived. Beware of the sea. If thou hearest the cry of the gull on the shore, thy heart shall then rest in the forest no more. Eärendil was a mariner that tarried in Arvernian. He built a boat of timber felled in Nimberthil to journey in. Her sails he wove of silver fair, of silver were her lanterns made. Her prow was fashioned like a swan, and light upon her banners laid. In panoply of ancient kings, in chained rings he armoured him. His shining shield was scored with runes, to ward all wounds and harm from him. His bow was made of dragon horn, his arrows shone of ebony. Of silver was his habergeon, his scabbard of chalcedony. His sword of steel was valiant, of adamant his helmet tall, an eagle plume upon his crest, upon his breast an emerald. Beneath the moon and under star, he wandered far from northern strands, bewildered on enchanted ways beyond the days of mortal lands. From gnashing of the narrow waits where shadow lies on frozen hills, from nether heats and burning waste he turned in haste and roving still. On starless waters far astray at last he came to night of naught, and past an ever sight he saw of shining shore nor light he sought. The winds of wrath came driving him, and blindly in the foam he fled. From west to east and errandless, unheralded he homeward sped. There flying Elwing came to him, and flame was in the darkness lit, more bright than light of diamond, the fire upon her carcanet. In Oxford, we're at the Wolvercote Cemetery, and we're gonna try and find Tolkien's grave. I'd be very surprised if it was actually
somewhere in here eventually. We'll just go.
But let's have a look.
Right.
Taylor's just pointed out.
Look at the text as well. J.R.R. Tolkien, author.
So let's go and try and find it. Cemetery of the year 2001. So I've been following signs for Tolkien's grave so far, and we came to this spot at the back here. It might be somewhere up here.
Signpost seemed to have stopped, but I think it's somewhere. I remember roughly the location of the satellite images.
We're definitely getting into a secluded area, so we've now found the graves. The first one, there's two, in loving memory of John Francis
Real Tolkien.
There's his grave there. Quite understated.
Yeah.
And if we turn over, with deep and enduring gratitude for Rohan, Lorien and Frodo. So we're going to leave a little message here. Hail Tolkien. Thank you for Ea, Arda and Middle-earth. Thank you for Fëanor, Beleg, Manwë and Turin, and Christopher, Namárië. And then we've left a little mention of our YouTube channel, Tolkien Memorised.
The road goes ever on